If you are looking for something new and different for the upcoming Compliance Week celebration in November, check out The Compliance Kids. It's my 3-book children's series on compliance and compliance professionals for children. But they make great gifts and great training tools for your employees. You can check it out on Amazon.com. We've linked to it in the show notes. The Compliance Tip of the Day. This is the podcast where we bring you daily insights and practical advice on navigating the ever-evolving landscape of compliance requirements. Whether you're a seasoned compliance professional or just starting your journey, my aim in this podcast is to provide you with a bite-sized, actionable tip to help you stay on top of your compliance game. Join us as we explore the latest trends from the Department of Justice, share some best practices, demystify complex compliance issues to help keep your organization doing business ethically and in compliance, and at the end of the day, more profitably. Tune in daily for your dose of compliance wisdom. Let's make compliance a little less daunting, one tip at a time. Now a word from the sponsor of the Compliance Podcast Network, Ethico.
If you're a compliance officer, middle managers are crucial in getting your programs from you to your frontline employees. But how do we activate those managers and get them on our side? Ethico's new Middle Manager Toolkit equips you with the skills needed to empower your managers, to promote a culture where ethical behavior thrives and employees feel empowered to speak up. Learn how to turn frontline managers into ethical leaders with our new white paper, Empowering Middle Managers as Ethics Champions. And did I mention you can get the whole toolkit for free? Head to ethico.com to download the full toolkit today.
Today on the Compliance Tip of the Day, I want to look at boards of directors, their Caremark duty, and how all of this was a complete, total, and utter failure at TD Bank. Obviously, the Caremark Doctrine requires a board to either have an information system which reports up to it, or if red flags appear, then the board needs to take action. And it needs to take action around the most significant risks to the corporation. For a bank, obviously the biggest risk is money that will be stolen, money that will be purloined, money that will be laundered. And here it looks like we have failures by the bank on both prongs of the Caremark Doctrine. The information systems, which would have allowed the board to understand their obligations, not their obligations, but the risks rather, didn't seem to be working. We had TD Bank internal audit reporting up that the AML program was deficient. There were external third-party consultants who did the same, and perhaps that information did not get to the board, but there were 2 or 3 OCC enforcement actions from 2014 through 2024 where the board actually signed off on their obligations to remediate money laundering claims. So at those points, the board all knew because they signed off in writing to it. So there can't be any claim that the employees or officers of the company were hiding this from the bank. But clearly the bank also signed off on the flat cost paradigm, which allowed the expansive growth of the corporation, but failed to take into account the risks that were involved. So under what are the takeaways? Well, under the Caremark duty, boards have a duty of oversight, and they must exercise that. Reporting, if information is not getting to the board about the most significant risk in the company, the board must ask questions. And 3, what is mission critical? A board must oversee the risks which are mission critical. And once again, in a bank, it's very obvious what the mission critical risks are. It involves what banks do. Money. And that money is risked in money laundering, it's risk in fraud, it's risk in violation of the Bank Secrecy Act. So if it's a mission critical risk, the board must oversee it. This is Tom Fox again. This new podcast, Compliance Tip of the Day, will appear daily. And frankly, it's one of the most requested topics for a podcast that I get on a regular basis. It's going to be short and sweet with one tip with some takeaways that you can utilize to implement into your compliance program. If you've got a question that you would like a tip on, please submit them through our website, and we will use them in an upcoming episode. The Compliance Tip of the Day is a production of the award-winning Compliance Podcast Network. Finally, this podcast contains promotional materials.